Hey everyone, Siro and Disney here, and we are here. It is Monday afternoon. I actually go to work in about an hour and a half, and it's weird because I don't work Mondays, and I really don't work nights, so it's really kind of throwing me off a little bit. As a matter of fact, that's the reason why this video is so late. Like, normally I would be able to get this video out on Saturday or even Sunday, but again, my work schedule threw me off this weekend, and I had to work both Saturday and Sunday. Now, Saturday, I would have had everything done. I would have been able to shoot that video, but I ended up getting back late from my grandpa's 75th birthday party. So, not really late, but with the time change, with daylight savings time now ending, it was kind of like I'm suffering from jet lag, I guess you could say, because I'm waking up at weird times, and I'm still on the time that we used to be on, so it's going to take a bit to get used to that. Still waking up at 8 a.m., and I just feel like crap, and I can't get back to sleep, so there's really nothing I can do. So, I do want to say that you guys haven't seen this view of me for quite a while, actually. There is me filming with the iPhone 5 again, and I'm going to try to start doing that a lot more often. I deleted a lot of my pictures from my trip in September, and I kind of wanted to start filming with this device again. The problem with it is that when you try to upload a video from the iPhone using iOS 7, it clips everything now. It doesn't let you put out elongated videos anymore. So because I can't do that, what I have to do is I have to shoot the video on the iPhone, then I have to find a computer of some sort, usually my desktop, but when I'm home in December, in 30 days, literally a month from today, I will have to go to my laptop, and I'll take the laptop, or the desktop in this case, and then I'll take that video and put it directly on YouTube, upload it directly that way, and it takes 4,000 hours to upload. But there's nothing I can do about that. That's just how it's going to roll from now on. And apparently, with the iPhone 5 especially now, I will not be able to upload directly from the iPhone unless it is a short video. And if you guys know me pretty well, and you should by now, I don't make very short videos. Now granted, there are a couple several minute videos that are like under 10 minutes that I did when I was home in September, and there'll be a lot of those in December. Basically just to tell you guys what I'm doing, and then there'll probably be a ride through, or I'll be around Reunion, and I'm going to have all sorts of awesome content. I'll be shooting with the tablet, and with this iPhone, and with my iPod. So don't worry, content's not going anywhere, it's just becoming a bigger pain to try to fix it. But it's okay, I guess it's hashtag YouTube problems. So, I do want to talk about NXT and Smackdown, but first, before I get going, I do want to say, unfortunately, AJ will not be able to join us this weekend for Thor. We will not be watching Thor this weekend, actually. We might watch it Sunday night, just kind of depends. You will be getting your Thor review, and hopefully about time with it as well. You'll be getting that review early next week. I don't know exactly when. AJ unfortunately has to go out of town for personal business, so needless to say, because of that fact, we are not able to shoot those videos. However, do not worry, because we're moving heaven and earth right now to be able to film tomorrow the brand new Versus, which will be out on Sunday, which the cryptic comment is Ghost, and a movie review of some limited release films that AJ watched the last several days. So we still will have content on Friday and Sunday from AJ if everything works out like I'm anticipating it's going to. And then you'll still get the Thor and hopefully About Time review next week. So that's a guarantee. My Bill and Ted audio for Halloween Horror Nights this year, I'm actually going to be putting up on Thursday. So that will be up this Thursday. So let me go through it right now. Today is NXT and Smackdown. Tomorrow we're going to talk about Raw because I have to work on a Monday, which again, it's just bizarre, and closing is even more bizarre. Because of that, it throws me off completely, and I won't be able to do my Raw recap tonight. I'll have to do it legitimately on Tuesday. So Raw will be on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'm going to do the Impact review that I wasn't able to do over the week because everything's been so wishy-washy. And Thursday, I'll put up Bill and Ted. Friday, we're going to talk about this week's Impact, which, of course, is filming in Cincinnati this week, actually. So we're going to talk about this week's Impact. So Impact videos pretty much back-to-back. And we'll do AJ's movie reviews of whatever he decides to talk about. And Saturday, we're hopefully going to do NXT and Smackdown, get back into that frame of mind a little bit more than usual, go back to the schedule, and Sunday we'll do out the verses. So that's what we're looking at right now. I hope we can stick that. It kind of depends on how the schedule works. And I love the hours, but it throws off everything. So hopefully everything will work itself out, and I'll still get hours. I'll still get great hours like I have been lately, but it will be on times where I can still work out times to be able to send you guys videos. Obviously, I'm going to do daily videos, but it's not easy to do everything on schedule when everything is as busy as it is right now. And of course, I'm going home in, like I said, a month from today, so needless to say, I have to get in everything I can before I leave. So, that out of the way, let's talk NXT and SmackDown for this week. And we start off the show with Enzo Amore and Big Colin Cassidy. They come to the ring, and they basically call out Sylvester Lefort and the rest of the Legionnaires, Alexander Rusev and Scott Dawson. Pretty much says they've got no backbone. Enzo calls them chicken tenders. Made me laugh. Basically says that Sylvester Lefort is nothing but a sloppy jalopy, and you're simply SAWFT, soft. So again, just like I predicted, the Enzo and Big Cass tandem are slowly but surely becoming consistent baby faces on NXT. I don't have a problem with that, because NXT is in need of teams to challenge the Ascension, and you have to bring in babyface teams. Of course, I talked about bringing in the Usos or the Primetime Players to challenge the Ascension, and that would be a brilliant idea, but you really can't do that right now, because they're both kind of wrestling on television again. The Usos especially, they're on a title push at this point, and Primetime Players were on SmackDown this week, or actually this video that I'm actually going to be talking about later in this segment. So we start off the show with tag team action, and that's the theme of this week in professional wrestling, at least in the NXT and SmackDown video that you're watching currently. Tag team wrestling. There was a lot of tag team matches on these two programs this week. So heavy emphasis on tag team wrestling this week. So we start off with Big Cass, Colin Cassidy, and Enzo Amore taking on the wrestling debut of Sylvester Lefort, who, if you guys did not know, he is a trained professional wrestler, so he's just being a valet. It's alright because he actually knows how to wrestle, and this was the first time that WWE and NXT audiences got to see him wrestle. And he really didn't do anything. It's interesting because Sylvester Lefort was trained by Lance Storm, so he knows what he's doing, and he just comes off like the valet, obviously, because being a manager, he's a great mouthpiece, even though, like I said, he just monster guy, and he looks like a worker, and it makes sense that he is one. So hopefully, eventually, you're going to see him involved somewhere down the line in a wrestling program on NXT. So Alexander Rusev is basically the bully. He is the charge of Sylvester Lefort. He basically takes out Enzo and Cassidy pretty handily by himself. He Vader attacks on Cassidy, and he beels Enzo into the ring, and he tosses him into the ropes. Vader attack on Enzo. So Sylvester Lefort wants some action, so he is like, okay, let's do this. He's getting ready to go. And then he gets pushed into the ropes himself, and Vader attack by Alexander Rusev. And it's like, what's going on? And Rusev locks him in the Accolade, Colin Cassidy that is, and he taps out. So, of course, he has laid to waste everyone in the ring, including his manager, or in this case, his former manager. And, of course, we see Lana, who is still unnamed on NXT television, standing at the top of the ramp, and she watches very happily applauding the, at least on the inside, she didn't really applaud, but she basically seemed extremely happy with what Alexander Rusev did, leaving the Legionnaires. So, basically, there is no Legionnaires anymore. It's pretty much dead. The only person that Sylvester Lefort's managing right now is Scott Dawson, so I don't know if that's going to end up happening, because as I read on Wiki today, and if you know it's on Wikipedia, it's got to be true, Garrett Dillon was let go of the company in August of this year, so I didn't even know that. I was wondering, when is this team coming back? No, apparently not. So D-Squared is now defunct because they got rid of Garrett Dillon. So Scott Dawson is left to be the only charge of Sylvester Lefort. So I'm guessing that he'll bring in someone else somewhere down the road, if I had to guess, to get revenge on Alexander Rusev. And that's probably the good direction to go. So basically, Rusev is walks to the back, and Lana's watching him. Her eyes follow him from the end of the ring to the top of the ramp to the back. So yeah, that's pretty much the end. And oh, by the way, I realized pretty quickly on this, it's really funny that we're talking about Alexander Rusev, and I've been trying to place who he reminds me of. And I know he reminds me of someone, and the only thing that comes to mind, and longtime fans, you probably agree with me on this, Alexander Rusev is what would happen if Sylvester Terkay wore the gimmicks that Taz used to wear back in the IWCCW days as the Tazmaniac. So basically, like I said, it's Taz mixed with... Yeah, it makes sense. It makes total sense. Really think about it. I mean, I'm bringing a name back from the blue on that one. But yeah, it works. I think it works really well. And I actually really like... I liked the Tazmaniac back in the day, so yeah, there's always that, so yeah. So, Terkay was actually a great wrestler that really never got a break. It's really interesting to see where his career went. I don't actually think he is working anymore. Let's see if he is. I'm actually checking right now. I'm going to feel really stupid in about 2 seconds, I have a feeling. Yeah, he basically is working in Japan right now. He's the Predator again. As far as I know, he's still in Japan as of this moment. It does say to present, so that's good. So Sylvester Terkay is who Alexander Rusev reminds me of, mixed with the Tazmaniac. So yeah, I don't want to throw that out there. So, after this, we get the artiste... Aiden English, who this is the first time I've seen this gimmick, and I unfortunately did not get to watch his match with Rob Van Dam that he had on NXT while I was gone, and I didn't go back and check it out or anything, so I wasn't able to see it, but I've heard it's really good, and I might have to go check it out now. So what happens is Aiden English now has a gimmick, and he comes out, he's got a beret on, and he's got the pencil-thin mustache. He basically serenades the crowd with an original song, very Broadway style, sounds a whole lot like a thrown-out song from Les Miserables. And after he's finished, the fans chant, "Encore, encore," and he bows. And he's going to be facing off against Jason Jordan, who I've never seen before. Actually, I'll see if I can figure out who this guy is real quick because that's how we do things here on Pop, especially when it comes to wrestling recaps. Let's see, Jason Jordan. Yay! Only thing I have on Wiki from Jason Jordan is he's some sort of a footy player. Yay, that's wonderful. No, Jason Jordan is his opponent. He's your jobber for this match. After the serenade is over, Jason Jordan gets whipped under the turnbuckle, and Aiden English locks a sleeper hold on Jordan. And he sings him a lullaby, and it's hilarious. So... Jordan ends up getting some shine. He flips off Aiden English, literally flips him off, like snap-mares him over pretty much. And big drop kick, 1-2, and a kick out. And Aiden English locks him in a Shinanamaki, and he lays it out with a version of Matt Hardy's Side Effect. And he calls that the director's cut and gets the victory right here. So we've ended up with another superstar on the NXT roster that is clearly patterned to be a heel that the fans are cheering for. So this, obviously, along with one other person, and that man being Tyler Breeze. Obviously, he's also the other heel in NXT that everyone baby faces anyway. They're in a very, starting to grow more into a bigger group day by day. So I would say that, excuse me, I would say that the heels that are made baby faces by the fans may not be such a great idea in the long run. But it works for me because I like this gimmick. I like this gimmick a lot. This is the first time I've seen the artiste. So he goes, "Spotlight, please." And he does a reprise version of his opening serenade. And he says, "No one is better than me in the WWE." And they throw roses at him. It was awesome. So yeah, Aiden English is going to be amazing in NXT for years to come until they bring him up to the main roster, and I think they will. I mean, this goes back to like JT Smith singing Dean Martin back in the day in ECW. I mean, wrestlers have been singing for a long time, that being their gimmick. When Brian James did the Road Dogg gimmick, the original Road Dogg gimmick, the real Double J, when he went from the roadie to being the real Double J, Jesse James. So I mean, that was a singing gimmick that got over. And this is going to be a singing gimmick that's going to eventually get over too. And it's really getting over in NXT right now. I'm pretty sure it's going to lead to WWE somewhere sooner rather than later. I'd say probably in the beginning of 2014 you will see Aiden English on WWE programming. So after the attack, the heinous attack by his former tag team partner Corey Graves, Adrian Neville was seeing the back, and basically they're asking about what his opinions on what happened. He basically says, "Corey, well done. I hope you're proud of yourself, lad. Because you know what? This is only the beginning." So Neville was showing a lot of intensity that we have not seen from him in quite a while. So the Jumpin' Geordie is going to be facing off against the most miserable man in NXT very, very soon. And that's going to be awesome. It's going to be really great to see Neville and Graves battle it out. So I'm looking forward to that, and it's going to be amazing. Speaking of things I'm looking forward to, another match in the ongoing series between the NXT Women's Champion Paige and the gorgeous, beautiful, and stunning Summer Rae, of course, with her beautiful, fierce females compadre, Sasha Banks at ringside. A lot of people are saying they're like the beautiful people. They actually are a lot more like Lay Cole. So from now on, we're going to call them Summer Banks. So yeah, Summer Banks is now the teams. So that's how it's going to work. So, Sasha gets caught, before I start recapping, just red-handed, just trying to pull the leg of Paige. Referee spots it and goes, "You're getting out of here," so tosses her out. So, we come back to live action, and Paige, whip in, charges in, and Summer backdrops her over the top rope. She lands on the ring apron, and Summer sweeps her leg, and she nails the back of her head on the ring apron and collapses to the floor. So Summer goes out to the ringside area, tosses her back in the ring, makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out, locks on her inverted Indian deathlock, and it gets rolled up by Paige, 1-2 and a kick out. So a big drop kick on Paige, again, 1-2, and the women's champion was almost defeated right there in this non-title matchup. So she slams her face first into the canvas, makes another cover, 1-2 and a kick out. So she charges in and gets caught, turned around into a snap fisherman suplex, 1-2 and a kick out. So clothesline is blocked, and then 3 big clotheslines and a drop kick off the ropes by the NXT Women's Champion. Makes a cover on Summer Rae, 1-2 and a kick out. So she gets pushed into the ropes. Summer nails her with a spinning heel kick, 1-2, and Paige kicks out. So Paige catches her off this with the Paige Turner, and 1-2-3, Paige wins this matchup. So after the match is over, Sasha Banks attacks from behind. Emma makes the save and stomps Sasha away in the corner, and she gets distracted as Paige comes up to her, and she turns around, and Emma just decks Paige, not realizing who she hit. And that allows them to just basically get up in each other's face. Furthermore, continuing what I've said earlier, we're going to get Paige and Emma somewhere sooner rather than later. I don't see Emma as a heel in this feud. I really don't. I don't see it. I see how you can do it, but I think Emma fits more as a babyface. So maybe a heel Paige somewhere down the line, they call her the anti-diva. I think that would be a good idea to do, maybe heel Paige versus face Emma. Even though the fans are really insistent on cheering for Paige, they're really insistent on cheering for Emma. So it'd be really interesting to see what happens when this feud ends up coming to fruition somewhere down the line. Now we get a really interesting promo from Luke Harper of the Wyatt family in the Wyatt family way of doing promos. And he basically says he's found a new plaything, and we see video clips of Cassius Ohno. And Ohno, of course, is on television, off television, of course. A lot of people are saying that he was in the doghouse from WWE for a while, and Ohno's finally back on television, and everything's great in the world. And he basically says that this amuses him. But when he's done, he'll leave him for the Buzzards. So next week we get Ono and Harper one-on-one, which is going to be an amazing match. Because I've seen Brody Lee and Chris Hero matches, and those were awesome. And I'm really excited to see Ono and Harper go at it in NXT. It'll be a really good contest between the two. It's going to be a really stiff matchup, and I'm really excited to see it. So next week, as a result also of what happened, Alexander Rusev is going to be facing off in ring against Sylvester Lefort, so that's going to be next week as well. So that's going to be your NXT card for next week, which I'll talk about in a couple of days. Main event time, and speaking of baby faces that are really heels, I talk about Tyler Breeze. And Tyler Breeze is insanely over with the NXT crowd. Now, granted, when he does the WWE house shows, which did a house show loop a couple of months ago. Actually, he's been doing house show loops for a couple of months, on and off. And when he does this, obviously he's played off as a straight heel. Now, at Full Sail, just like with the Impact Zone, every single person knows the characters, they know the gimmicks, they cheer for who they want to cheer for, and even if you're a heel, they still babyface you, and vice versa. And when I mean vice versa, I mean the opponent of Tyler Breeze. That would be the person that WWE is trying to push as a babyface, and that is CJ Parker. CJ Parker has not taken to the delight of the NXT crowd. The NXT crowd hates CJ Parker. They hate CJ Parker not as much as they hate Bo Dallas, but I think week after week it's getting there. So obviously this is, I would say maybe this is the blow-off for the feud, because you had last week Tyler Breeze cut the orange and green dreadlocks of CJ Parker to the delight of the crowd, mind you. So this is going to lead to this match, and you think this may end up blowing off the feud. This may be the final match in the feud, and obviously the babyface will go over. So we get this match, our main event of the evening for NXT, CJ Parker and Tyler Breeze. So Parker plants Tyler Breeze with a backdrop suplex, and this is a really awesome spot. He charges in, and he lands on the middle rope. He leaps in, he lands on the middle rope. Breeze slips out, grabs the ankles, and power bombs him out of the corner. Looked awesome. 2 knee drops, and makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So he steps on the throat of CJ Parker once. Then he rolls him over. He does it again, to a pop, mind you, from the crowd. He takes a selfie from his rather furry cell phone at this point. So he puts the boots in the corner, and then the well-placed stomp in the midsection, the Dean Ambrose spot, makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So he locks on his version of the Kata Hajime. He gets backed into the corner, and he charges in. Breeze gets a knee up, and he makes a cover on CJ Parker, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes up top, and he got caught, and he gets rocket launched over the top, off the top rope to the canvas below. He double legs Tyler Breeze, and he pounds away. Clothesline, and a high calf kick, or a leaping, jumping calf kick, depending on who you want to call this match. Kind of a leg lariat, somewhere like that, depending on who's calling your match. Harlem sidekick, so Booker T used to call it. Makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. So Breeze plants him with a jawbreaker, and he goes for a pile driver. Pile driver is blocked, goes for the beauty shot. It gets ducked out of the way, and the third eye, the palm strike, plants him for the 1-2-3. So after the match is over, CJ Parker grabs some shears, aka what Bruce Beefcake used to do back in the day, and he goes to cut the hair of Tyler Breeze. Now, I would think they'd want to try to cut the ponytail of Breeze, but in the middle of the match, the ponytail actually came loose, and he was it was barely hanging on by a thread at the end of the match. Actually, I don't think it was even hanging on at one point. I think his hair was completely down. It's just that short. But short enough to be a ponytail, so I guess that's how it works. And the fans were chanting, "No, no, don't cut his hair." So what happens? Breeze spots it, wakes up, and hightails it out of the building. So that's the end of the show. Okay, NXT this week was a mixed bag. Number one, you have Colin Cassidy and Enzo Amore are now solid baby faces. Number two, you have Alexander Rusev is still being controlled by the yet unnamed, who's going to be Lana, even forcing him to turn his back on his manager, Sylvester Lefort, and break up the Legionnaires. You have Aiden English, who is an amazing talent, who I love his shtick, gets over really well. He squashes Jason Jordan. Adrian Neville wants a piece of Corey Graves. Of course, we know this is going to happen sooner rather than later. Paige and Summer Rae have another awesome match, but it's still building the feud that Paige and Emma are going to have somewhere down the road with Summer and Sasha, just Summer Banks fighting in the background, just laughing about how hilarious it is that their two biggest rivals are now going to be bitter enemies sooner rather than later. Luke Harper is now on a collision course with Cassius Ohno, and that's going to be awesome next week. Looking forward to that. And a good main event from Tyler Breeze and CJ Parker. Fans still don't like CJ Parker yet, so maybe time to turn the hippie into a heel. But I just don't know how you're going to do it, honestly. I mean, I guess we'll see what happens. So that's NXT for this week. So this sends us into SmackDown. And you're going to say, oh, and you watch this out of order. My response is, kind of. I watched this on, I watched this on Putlocker, and Putlocker did this out of order. Now, apparently the show opened with John Cena coming out, but apparently the Putlocker video opened with the Shield pre-tape. So I'm going to go with that version of this, because obviously that's what I know. So the Shield basically are tired of the Usos sticking their nose in their business. You guys are just speed bumps. You're not contenders. Tonight will prove that the Usos are no exception. We're making sure that justice gets served. Roman Reigns hits his high spot, believe in the Shield. This leads to the Shield against the Usos. The Shield represented this time by the United States Champion Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, with Roman Reigns at ringside, taking on Jimmy and Jey Uso. So, midway through the match, before I started really talking about it, Big E Langston comes out to even the odds, and he stands at ringside to make sure Roman Reigns doesn't get involved. That's a smart move, right? So, we get midway through the match. Ambrose locks on a modified crossface chicken wing on Jey Uso, and then he plants him with a short arm clothesline, makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out. Nails him with a power drive elbow. Props to JBL for saying it shades of the Great Muta, and he tags in Seth Rollins. He comes in with a big fist drop off the top and whip in, and the charging forearm in the corner on Jey Uso. Gets on the middle turnbuckle, dives off, gets caught into a Samoan drop by the Uso, and he slips to the legs when he tries to attack, and he makes the tag, and then hot tag in as well. So, Jimmy Uso and Dean Ambrose are now officially the legal men in the ring. So, 2 clotheslines, side kick to the ribs, and he nails him with a full Nelson bomb off the ropes, the Bubba Bomb or the Bully Bomb, depending on who's calling your match. And the running butt bump in the corner, a la their father, Rikishi, of course, makes a cover on Ambrose 1-2, and he kicks out. So he catches the kick, does Ambrose, he spins around, and Jimmy catches him with an enziguri kick, comes off the ropes, gets nailed with a side kick. Rollins makes the save before the pinfall can be kicked out of, and it is kicked out of at this point. Spinebuster by Jey Uso, and Seth Rollins is down and out. So Roman Reigns gets on the ring apron. He gets kicked off by the Usos at this point. They dive on the Shield on the floor. Charges in, gets the boot up, middle rope, gets caught into a Samoan drop, but it gets stopped this time. He leapfrog, lands on his feet, comes off the ropes, roll up 1, 2, 3, and the Usos win this match. So after the match is over, Ambrose goes for an attack. He runs into Big E Langston. Roman Reigns makes a save, and he drags Ambrose out of the ring. Roman wants to fight all 3 men at this point, but cooler heads prevail, and the Shield get him out of the ring. So, like I said, everything's out of order. Usos still a firm contender for the WWE Tag Team Championships, even though they are faces against a face Rhodes Warriors team. So, this is the real opening of the show, actually. I don't know why mine was out of order, but according to reading this on 411 Mania, which I recommend going to 411mania.com, get all your awesome news needs, wrestling and all sorts of different facets of pop culture. They're kind of like us as a website. So basically, John Cena comes out and he says the world champ is here. And you see SoCal Valerie Wyndham shown at ringside. Obviously, this doesn't really mean anything. It was kind of cool to see her at ringside because Val's gorgeous. So, interesting after she left TNA earlier this year. So, he goes, get ready, SmackDown. It's a brand new day. I'm putting everyone on notice. You want some? Come get some. Here comes Zeb's Militia out to the ring. So, Zeb Coulter leads out Antonio Cesaro and Jack Swagger. So, he wants to congratulate them and basically he wants to thank John Cena for ending the title reign of Alberto Del Rio. And he says, John, you and I, and all three of us really, with you, have a common bond. And the common bond is the fact that we're all real Americans. You're a real American patriot. You're a real American hero. And you're a real American legend. He's a real American kiss-ass. But that's beside the point altogether. So they invite John Cena to join the Real Americans. And Cena watches as Zeb puts his hand out. Of course, you don't shake Dirty Dutch's hand. And Cena goes, you can't see me. And that's the end of that. So Cena gets on the mic and does his childish insults. Even though one did make me laugh hysterically at JJ Jackson. Yeah, that's funny. Jeff Jackson is the reason why I make the Biff Tannen references to Jack Swagger. I'm not going to lie, that's a straight up shoot. And John Cena brings it up for the first time. So basically, Cena says that Swagger looks like Biff Tannen. He says, why don't you make like a tree and get out of here? And then he says that, what do you have, a sports almanac in your pocket? You're just happy to see me. And then he basically says, Cesaro's got giant Papa John's pepperoni style nipples and shoots on him for like a minute. And it's really childish and stupid. And he ends it with, you guys are full of Britney Spears initials. And for those of you that don't realize what I'm saying, that's BS. And here that stands for bad stuff. Yay, PG era for the win. So Damien Sandow comes out and says, we make our own opportunity in America. See, you don't know anything about that because simply put, since you walked into the WWE doors, you've been handed every single thing possible. Man to man, John, you're simply a false champion. I'm still your uncrowned World Heavyweight Champion. My sole purpose from this moment forward is to end the Cena era in the WWE. And I will do it by any means necessary. You're welcome. So Cody and Goldust hit the ring as there was going to be a three-way ambush on Cena. And, of course, that causes the heels to powder. Vicky comes out, makes a six-man tag. So that's your main event. John Cena and the Rhodes Warriors against Zeb's Militia and Damien Sandow. So that's going to be your opening, your main event, and that's your opening promo that I talked about second, because that's the order I watched it. So, yeah, I like this. I like this a lot. Cena's childish insults aside, it was fine. It worked fine for me. This is a big rub for all three men involved in this. It's a big rub for Damien Sandow. And I'll trumpet what Mick Foley said on Twitter. This is the beginning of the Sandow era. It really is. The fact that he lost the Money in the Bank opportunity, the fact that he lost to Cena on Raw Monday night, doesn't really mean anything in the long run because he got the rub from Cena. And that's what we're needing to focus on. Obviously, with all the things you say about John Cena, call him Super Cena. I know I do it too. I called him Super Cena on this video. And I probably will on this video as well. But when it comes down to it, John Cena is the best thing the WWE has to offer. And he knows how to sell, he knows how to work, and something that a lot of people in the IWC do not give him credit for, he knows how to get people over. And he knows how to give the rub. He knows how to give just enough just so he can get a new face over. And that's exactly what he's doing in this program. He's helping Damien Sandow get more over as a heel. And that's awesome. And this rub to the Real Americans, I love this as well because I'm a big Cesaro fan, and I definitely want to see this continue in the weeks and months to come. So we get our next match, and it is another tag team match. Eric Rowan and Luke Harper of the Wyatt family taking on the Primetime Players. Before this match, Bray Wyatt cuts a promo in the back like he likes to do and says, "We live in a world where false heroism is a sickness and must be dealt with. I know what plagues them, and I hold the cure in the palm of my hand. Ashes to ashes, ashes, we all fall down." Blows out the lantern, and Rowan and Harper in the ring, and they're facing off against Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. So that's the match we have here on SmackDown. So Young is whipped in, it gets reversed, and high velocity whip sends him over the top rope to the floor. So Rowan tosses him back in, tag in, and they whip Rowan's avalanche into Young, and they push him off into Harper's big boot. Harper with the gator roll, whip in, and big clothesline, slingshot to the bottom rope. Normally, this time it's actually to the middle rope. and tagging Eric Rowan, boot and a scoop slam and neck twist. Young elbows his way out. So he dives up and he gets caught and he gets tossed off. They knock Titus O'Neil off the ring apron and he charges in to the corner. He misses, hits the turnbuckle, tagging a Luke Harper. He drops an elbow in the back as he's crawling to his corner. And Gator roll into the chin lock. The chin lock gets elbowed out of, boot caught, enziguri kick on Luke Harper, tagging Titus O'Neil. He comes in, 2 big shoulder blocks, and he knocks Rowan off the ring apron. Big boot on Harper. Whip in, charges in, avalanche on Harper in the corner. So a power slam caught, 1-2, and a kick out. So he boots Rowan, and Rowan goes over the top rope to the floor, courtesy of the Cactus Clothesline from Darren Young, and big time clothesline on Titus, huge lariat, 1-2-3, and the Wyatt family wins. So after the match is over, they pick up Titus to sacrifice him. Bray gets in the ring, and Young stops him, and momentarily, like 2 seconds, because he gets caught, Sister Abigail right in front of his tag team partner, and he ends up hitting Sister Abigail on Titus O'Neil. He kneels above the fallen primetime players and follow the buzzards. So, again, the Wyatt family, especially with this feud that is starting with CM Punk and Daniel Bryan, are going to be a huge part of WWE television throughout the rest of the year and way into 2014, to be totally honest. I would say right now that the Wyatt family's run is just beginning. And if you thought the crazy stuff happened before, just wait. There's going to be some really insane stuff. You saw what they did to The Miz. It's something out of a horror movie, honestly. The Wyatt family is something out of a horror movie. Luke Gallows on Chairshot Reality actually said it best this week. He basically said, I'm paraphrasing here, that the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt specifically, is Waylon Mercy done right. And I've said this for a long time. Cape Fear by way of the Firefly family. That's exactly what I've called the Wyatt family since day one. And I'm telling you right now, Bray Wyatt is an amazing mouthpiece. He's good in the ring, and he's a great talker. So I'm telling you right now, this will continue. Crowd, whenever they hear the Wyatt family introduction and the We're Here, they pop. During the matches, not so much. But that's just for Harper and Rowan. They really haven't resonated as much as Bray has with the audience. But it'll come in time. And I think this promo, this program, long day, this program with Daniel Bryan and CM Punk that started on Raw Monday night will probably help that exponentially. So there's always that. Primetime players, just nice seeing them on television again. And like I said, send them to NXT, let them work with the Ascension. So we get Miz TV. Miz comes out, he says his guest was supposed to be Shawn Michaels, but as the old expression goes, Shawn Michaels has left the building. But fact is fact, had it not been for Shawn Michaels, Randy Orton would not be WWE Champion. But the fact remains Randy Orton is the face of the company, whether anybody likes it or not. So Orton shows up at the top of the ramp with the championship, and slowly but surely he walks down the ramp in his robotic style and gets in the ring. He basically says, Miz, you're wrong. I proved I'm better than Daniel Bryan. Did you know the reason why Shawn Michaels didn't show up tonight? Simply because you're not relevant anymore. And neither is Miz TV. Now, simply put, in Cleveland, I beat you in front of your parents. The entire WWE Universe cheered me for it. If it were up to me, you'd join the Big Show in the unemployment line. So because the Big Show knocked me out on Monday night, Triple H banned him for life from WWE. How does that make you feel? Miz gets a chance to respond. How does it make me? Bam! RKO. And he lays out the Miz. Once again, I hate Randy Orton, but when it comes down to it, he's doing his job as a very intense, very successful, and convincing heel. The fact that Orton has wanted to turn heel for so long and they finally let him do it, I would say that you can definitely see a new spring in Orton's step when he's in the ring, even though his promos are still rather robotic. But I guess the Viper has to be robotic, apparently. He has the personality of a door. That's for you, Hochberg. And see a reunion in a month. So yeah, I like this. And Miz upper mid card time probably nearing its end. Mid card for life at this point. Miz will probably never get another run as a WWE champion, world champion, or any other champion, any high tier champion. He may end up in Intercontinental title or U.S. title somewhere down the road, but I don't see Miz winning a championship anytime soon. I mean, you really going to have to build him back up again, even if they're even committed to do that. But I would say that he has to be on the team, the babyface team, against What's Best for Business at Survivor Series. That's what I would think they would end up doing. But then again, a lot of people are saying that Orton and Big Show is pretty much set in stone for Survivor Series. So who knows if there's going to be a traditional Survivor Series matchup involving What's Best for Business or not. We'll find out. So we got our next match of the evening. Shock, surprise, another tag match. This time it's a 6-woman tag match. It is Natalya Neidhart and Nikki and Brie Bella taking on Divas champion AJ Lee, Tamina Snuka, and Alicia Fox. Okay, before I get going, I'm just going to throw out a little problem I have with this match. I'm going to get closer here. Okay, why isn't this Summer Rae? Seriously, why isn't this Summer Rae? Why is Alicia Fox in this match? I get it. I get the connection to Total Divas. That's fine. She's already been against the Bellas before. That's fine. I get that. But really, we just started a feud with Natty and Summer Rae this week. Why don't you continue it? Why don't you have AJ team up with Tamina and Summer Rae? That would have made more sense. Not Alicia Fox, who, yes, is very attractive, but can't work. And that's just how it works. So, yeah. And then again, I know a lot of people don't care about the WWE Divas division. I'm still trying to make it work in my head, find out why certain things are the way they are. So, we get to this match, and Nikki with a face buster, not a bulldog, Michael Cole, a face buster. Chris Jericho is the reason I call this a face buster. 1 count, 2 count, and no, kick out. So whip in and tag into Brie Bella. She comes in with a monkey flip and a clothesline off the ropes, 1-2, and a kick out. So Fox tags in Tamina, and Tamina comes in after a hip toss on Alicia Fox and mows Brie over with a huge clothesline. High vertical suplex and drives the elbow down to the chest, 1-2, and a kick out. So tag into AJ Lee. AJ comes in with her modified Dragon Sleeper, and Brie elbows her way out, whip in, reverse, and Brie gets locked in the guillotine choke. So she reverses this momentum by slamming her into the turnbuckle, breaking the hold. AJ knocks Nikki off the ring apron, and AJ with a clothesline on Brie. Brie ducks out of the way, rolls out of the way, tagging Natalya. She comes in, clothesline, snap suplex, whip in, gets kicked in the chest, and discus clothesline somewhat. Comes off the ropes, and Alicia Fox makes a save. Nikki gets tossed to the floor, and Natty tosses Tamina to the floor. Natty gets rolled up, 1-2, and a kick out, and double leg on the Divas Champion, and sharpshooter applied, and there's a submission. Cluster City in the finish, honestly. Looking to me that Natty is built up as the next challenger for AJ's Divas Championship. And we talked about many moons ago here on Pop about Natty taking the Divas Championship from AJ Lee, and I'm not sure they were going to go with that. I think given the fact that even though the Baby Bellas, I guess that's what we're going to call them, because they're so badly when they make the Bellas into the baby faces here, even though they were such the mean girls for so long. I mean, it's hard to really believe that they would just turn over a new leaf overnight. So you have that, and the crowd want to cheer for AJ, and they are. So you put Natty in, who is a legitimate fan favorite, against AJ, and that's probably what we're leading towards. So Natty and AJ will probably face off, I would say, at Survivor Series, if they don't do a traditional Survivor Series matchup. I say, before 2013 is over, I would say, if I had to do it myself, if I had to book, I would book the Total Divas versus the WWE Divas with AJ Lee at Survivor Series, and then, so basically you do Natty and the Bellas, and, I mean, if you want to put Eva Marie in there, I guess you can eliminate her right off the top, taking on AJ, Tamina, Summer Rae, and Alicia Fox. That should be the match at Survivor Series, and then Natty gets the win again, and she wants a title match, so she faces off against AJ at TLC, and wins the Divas Championship at Long Day, at TLC. Or they could push it to the Rumble and then have Natty get the belt at the Rumble. So either way, I think AJ loses the championship to AJ Lee. I know what you're saying. I said that Brie Bella is going to take the championship, and I thought that might actually happen, but I don't now. So there you go. So, Here's fun. Main event time. 6-man tag. John Cena, your World Heavyweight Champion, and the current and reigning WWE Tag Team Champions, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, the Rhodes Warriors, taking on the intellectual savior of the unwashed masses, Damien Sandow, and Zeb's Militia, Antonio Cesaro, and Jack Swagger. So, 5 knee strikes by Sandow on Goldust. He chokes him on the rope, makes a cover 1-2, and a kick out. Tagging to Swagger, front face lock on the Golden One, and Goldust punches his way out. Kick to the chest, snap clothesline on Goldust, tagging to Cesaro. Cesaro locks in the deep chin lock, and he gets snapmared out of it. Gets landed on his feet, counters it with a deadlift, into the deadlift side salto, 1-2, and a kick out, tagging to Swagger. And we go to commercial. Back to live action, and Cesaro with a snap suplex on Goldust, 1-2, and a kick out. So, while we were gone, there was a lot of action, and it ended up with being another tag. So that's how it works. Deep chin lock on Goldust, and turns around to a front face lock, and he tags Cena, but it's behind the referee's back, so the referee doesn't allow for the tag. This allows for Goldust to end up planting Cesaro with a boot and a DDT. So Sandow gets tagged in, and Sandow comes in with a leaping knee drop, 1 count only, chin lock, and Goldust elbows his way out. Whip in, and he puts on the brakes, springs off the buckle with the back elbow, and the drop uppercut elbows Cesaro off the ring apron, and of course, Sandow runs over and knocks Cena off the apron. Goldust catches him off that with a power slam off the ropes, and hot tag into Cody. Cody comes in with a springboard missile drop kick, whip in reverse, into the buckle, tip up, sunset flip, 1-2, and a kick out. So he hits the drop uppercut and standing moonsault, 1-2, and a kick out. So he goes for the Holly kick on Sandow, plants him, and goes for crossroads. And he ends up ducking the clothesline, charges in, boot up, goes for the crossroads again, tagging to Cesaro. So Cesaro with a giant swing, 22 rotations or so, because midway through, Cena ends up spearing Swagger on the floor. So we had pain in that. And by the time that's over with, Cody's let go, so there you go. Goldust makes a save before his tag team partner is pinned. So Goldust with the cactus clothesline sends Sandow over the top to the floor. And then we start with a finishing sequence after we tag in John Cena. So John Cena comes in, ducks Cesaro's clothesline, shoulder block, predator bomb, 5-knuckle shuffle, and he goes for the AA, gets caught, deadlift side salto from Antonio Cesaro, and goes for the giant swing. Cena counters into the STF. That gets kicked off. Cesaro takes the opportunity, throws him up in the air, and Swiss death on the World Heavyweight Champion. Cesaro makes the cover, but nothing there. Cena's down. Cody comes in. A beautiful disaster on Cesaro, and finishers galore sequence starts right now. So Cody gets nailed with your welcome full Nelson slam by Sandow from behind. Sandow in turn gets planted with Goldust. Bulldog off the ropes. Swagger gets in the ring, takes down Goldust. Of course, he is the legal man and all this craziness. People forgot that. Goes for the Patriot Lock on John Cena. Cena forward rolls, and he gets caught. AA off the ropes, 1, 2, 3. So, good main event on SmackDown, and enjoyable show overall. So the Usos still the top seeded tag team going for the WWE Tag Team Championships, even though that the champions are faces. John Cena giving the rub to the Real Americans and Damien Sandow equals awesomeness. Big E Langston leading towards him eventually taking the United States Championship off of Dean Ambrose, which of course leads to Roman Reigns going babyface and Ambrose and Rollins staying heel. Miz TV got silenced by Randy Orton. Again, the Wyatt family sacrificed the primetime players. We saw a cluster of a Divas 6 Diva tag team match with Natty tapping out AJ clean in the center of the ring. And then, of course, we get our main event, which is a really awesome television main event. John Cena ends up getting the pinfall. So, that was your show, and that was SmackDown this week. So, yeah. Interesting show, very heavy, this whole video on tag team wrestling. So, yeah. Tag team wrestling is making a comeback in WWE and in NXT as well. So, there you go. So, that's the video for this week. Sorry it's a little bit rushed. I actually got to go to work in just a little bit, so not very long. So, in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. You can tweet me, it's at SirOwenDisney. You can email me, SirOwenDisney@gmail.com, or you can friend me on Facebook at Owen Disney. Wrestling fans, I'll join you again tomorrow for my Raw recap, and we're going to be talking also Impact on Wednesday, and we're going to be talking Impact this coming weekend, as well as NXT and SmackDown this coming weekend as well. So a lot of wrestling content still to come on Pop this week. So in the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I got to say about that.